law of life. And those who look only to the past or to the present are certainly to miss the future. Starting almost 50 years ago, the concerned citizens of the town of Chatham institute a zoning law, the first in Columbia County, which was a plan to guide the changes in development and which preserved the town as we know it today. Those citizens were thinking about the town's future. With the enactment of the 2009 Comprehensive Plan, developed by multiple committees over the course of a number of years, the citizens of the town once again decided the course the town would take in defining its future development, preserving environmental resources, and maintaining its rural, small town, and historic character, as well as its agricultural resources. In addition, after wide-ranging public input, research, and analysis of data on the town, the comprehensive plan outlined the goals, the policies, and the strategies for short-term and long-term protection and growth. At this point, the town board is charged with voting on a proposed new zoning law that has taken 9 years to draft, 6 years by the first implementation committee, and then 3 years by the current zoning advisory committee. These past 3 years, the zoning advisory committee, working with the town planner, has worked diligently to formulate a comprehensive zoning ordinance that fits the rural character and the social fabric of this town. I want to thank the nearly 100 citizens who worked on the comprehensive plan and all the implementation committees over the course of this project. They are too numerous to name, but they know in their hearts that they have given us a guiding document that will shape the town for years to come. The new zoning law will be better defined and more consistent with existing law that it will replace, and it will reflect Chatham's needs as they develop. We must remember that this proposed new zoning law will be an evolving document that will be subject to future changes by the town board based upon recommendations from the planning board and the zoning board and a yet to be established comprehensive plan update committee. Town residents value the town of Chatham's unique environmental features and want to protect and enhance its rolling hills, woodland, creeks, brooks, and country byways. These environmental resources are critical to the quality of life for many of us who live, work, or have second homes in the town. It is important to recognize that the new zoning law was established based upon the comprehensive plan, and that its land use policies and procedures are consistent with that plan. In fact, just recently, the Hudson River Watershed Alliance awarded me and Joe Rickert, our highway superintendent, and the town of Chatham the 2019 Watershed Wavemaker Award for working collaboratively with Trout Unlimited to identify road stream crossings that are barriers to fish and wildlife and potential flooding hazards, resulting in a road stream crossing management plan for the town, which has become a part of the comprehensive plan. Local Law P2 of 2019 will help the Planning Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals make clear, definitive choices and shape the future of the town with each decision that they make. The town board has listened to many public comments throughout the adoption process and made appropriate adjustments to the proposed zoning law, especially as it relates to short-term rentals. We have heard the legitimate concerns of many residents regarding the increased cost of living and the limited supply of rentals and affordable housing. We have educated ourselves to understand that home sharing is an economic resource for some residents, and so have worked to legitimize home sharing in our town. We have provided for effective enforcement and safeguards for permanent housing so that commercial operations within residential zones can no longer abuse the system. Under this new law, the orderly change and the growth of the town will encourage new business and new residents, both full-time and weekenders. It will protect the environment, it will protect open spaces, natural resources, the hamlets, and the residential neighborhoods and property values. This zoning law will help protect your property values by keeping incompatible or unsuitable users away from your property. The new zoning law will make property attractive to developers who prefer to propose projects to the communities who will accept the project because it is compatible with uses permitted in the specific zoning district. The zoning law is good for the town of Chatham. This zoning law will make the town of Chatham the premier town in Columbia County, not only now, but in the future. I will be voted in the affirmative for local law P2 of 2019. I want to personally thank all the members of the town board, our town attorneys, John Lyons and Kim Garrison, and our town planner, Nan Stolzenberg, but most especially to Deputy Supervisor Bob Alvin for chairing the Zoning Advisory Committee, and also all the committee members who spent hours of work on implementing this comprehensive plan. You have all contributed greatly to the future of the town and should be very proud. We're going to be conducting a business meeting now. So I'm not sure if you want to listen to us. You're most welcome to stay. If your plan is to leave, you're welcome to leave. I'll give you a minute or two if that's the case. If you're not going to leave, that's fine. We'll commence with our meeting.
Why can't you open up to public comment now and let us get on our way and do your business? Is it possible to switch that around on the agenda?
Well, because I guess you don't want to know what's going on in your town.
Well, I think there's a reason that we're all here.
That's why we're all here.
Yep.
Listening.
Town board, what would you
Really, I think we can get through this pretty rapidly. We get right to the public comment. So, just ask that you hang in. There's not that much here for us to have to deal with.
What would be the time frame for a wait?
Maybe 15 minutes. Well, let's give it a shot.
Councilman Foster and Weldon on Park and Recreation.
Feels very anti-climactic.
We do need order, please.
I'll make this very brief. For those who don't know, we have a very active Parks and Recreation Committee. We have a very active Parks and Recreation Committee that meets monthly and is working diligently to improve recreation services in the town of Chatham. Right now, our committee is focusing on Park Day, which is the third year we've had a day at Carlin Park, in which people are invited to recreate. learn more about the park, find new recreation services that you might find interesting. This year there's going to be a concert. It's going to start about 4 o'clock. So we talked about that at our last meeting and worked on the details of that plan. We also started an organization called the Chatham Area Recreation Project, which is our fundraising group. They reported they've helped fund tuition help for people, for families who can't afford day camp. And they also have taken the lead in making sure that there's still a children's garden, and they funded for that. Not only do they fund for that, they also have led an effort to get the garden in shape, and have been working diligently in May and June to plant plants, work on the fence, deal with everything that the kids will need for summer camp. Summer camp registration occurred. It's in Mike's report. As usual, it was filled very rapidly, and there's a waiting list. And 41 of those kids opted to have part of their day spent in the children's garden. So that's basically what happened at our last meeting.
Kevin, do you want to add anything there?
No. That's it?
Okay. Councilman Richardson, on Citizens Finance and Planning Committee.
Just a preamble for the public. These 4 committees that are reporting right now are all citizen-based committees that review programs, practices, policies of the town, and then make recommendations to the town board. So much like the committees that made the comprehensive plan, the committees that made the new zoning law, these are 4 committees that participate in our local government on a weekly basis, literally. So on the Citizens Finance and Planning Committee, this committee is responsible for reviewing the budget, the annual budget, and making recommendations to the town on how it is doing as far as conforming to the budget plan. And also it helps the town board in developing the budget on an annualized basis. So the committee met just 2 weeks ago. We're meeting again tomorrow, and that the program right now is to review our year-to-date expenditures to see how we're doing on our estimates, and then adjustments to the budget as we go forward. This is a good primer because we will start in August on developing the new line item budget for the town. So our next meeting on Friday, tomorrow, will be to again go through the year-to-date expenditures and make recommendations to the board on where there might be some stress points.
So the most important things now are I spoke with Terry Moe, who's going to be doing the work on the highway garage heating system, and he thought he probably would be starting the end of next week to get that completed. We submitted the final report on the electric vehicle charging station, and so we should soon be getting our grant check for the $12,000 to cover that from the Department of Environmental Conservation. And we are preparing our recommendations on the subject of the LED streetlight conversion, so that the board can know what the options are and when moving and trying to make a decision what to do. That's it.
And Councilman Richardson, on economic stabilization.
Again, for the public, the Economic Stabilization Committee is a new committee that started in March. It has a mandate to work on affordable housing and also support on small-scale businesses, primarily those, of course, outside the village, because the village has its own programs. And of course, the business and industrial zone is primarily the 295 corridor from the village out to the Taconic. So again, it's a citizens-based committee that has those 2 mandates: 1, affordable housing; 2, support small-scale businesses. Presently, the committee had a joint meeting with the village representatives and one trustee. And there are two aspects that we're looking at in some collaboration, stress the word collaboration, with the village. One, I might have Kevin just comment very, very briefly, has to deal with the renovations of the courtroom at the Tracy. And there again, Kevin is working with Mayor Howe and two civilians.
James, Justice, Forster,
And then
and
Chris
then
Spencer,
Chris Spencer.
who's a resident of the village. And then the other aspect, again, is more comprehensive, dealing with the affordable housing and business development. And much of that has to do with being able to improve the infrastructure for that to happen, to be in a cost-effective basis. And so the collaboration is how do we tie in water and sewer with the village, and this is kind of a win-win that we're working with right now. The village needs more usage to help pay their fees. The development areas need water and sewer. So this is a wonderful opportunity for collaboration. There are way more questions right now than there are answers, and we were about to engage a consulting firm out of Albany to put together a pre-planning proposal. How's that, pre-planning? And that's where we're at right now. Kevin, you want to add something on that?
We're meeting basically to take a look at ways to make the Tracy Memorial ADA compliant, because the court is held up on the second floor and there's no access for somebody with limited mobility. They had a plan some years ago and some grant money to put in a lift, I believe, in the center of the staircase, and then it fell apart. So we're looking at reviving that plan so that that can be more serviceable for the courts. That's it. We're meeting on Monday.
Michael, can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question during this one?